thought DF hack was going to make the game faster. It's actually slower. There's probably some fucking setting that I need to set.
Welcome to Dwarf Fortress and welcome to the channel. I'm Twisted Logic. In this video we're going to be using DF hack to increase the FPS of the fortress.
Yep.
We're getting like on average around 10 to 15 right now FPS, and that's because we redrained the ocean to create this wave break wall. And what this does is as the wave comes in, it hits the obsidian wall here and then shatters back into ocean mist. Just like this right here, so it doesn't have to travel all the way to the back of the map. But we're going to be installing DF hack and using some commands to get this fortress back up to a decent playable level. So we do a simple Google search for DF hack with no spaces, and right now it's going to tell us what's working and what isn't working, because DF hack is much larger than this. However, in converting it over to the new version of Dwarf Fortress, some of the commands have to be rewritten, and so things like auto dump aren't going to work right now, create item isn't working, and
Oh shit, yeah. This is amazing. I can make these actually build finally. Oh man, I should have done this sooner. Thank you, whoever said that in my chat. I can't even remember now. Stupid ass toad. I shouldn't even be doing this. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. The toad's not gonna ambush. I don't think they do that. Looks like they all have somebody who's on it.
build right now, and you should make sure you have in is clean all, but we're going to put a space window for version 50, right? So the first command that we're going to type in is clean all, but we're going to put a space. Just like this. Clean all, and press enter. And now we just removed contaminants from map blocks, creatures, and items. And it looks like almost 10,000 contaminants were removed. Now we can go one step further and do clean all space mud, item, and snow. Now, even if you don't have snow on the map, this is the command right here. You can read it down here. Clean all mud, item, snow, and it's going to remove splatter, including mud, leaves, and snow from falling map tiles. It's kind of like a more advanced clean all. So enter. And we removed almost 1,000 items of mud off of map blocks. Excellent. Right-click to leave that, and right-click again, and we'll unpause the game and see the FPS just on that one command. Okay, so this guy right here, we're just going to follow him for a minute for everything to stay.
dude's got a named mace. Oh, he dropped it. Shit. That's not good. Yeah, shit. He did drop it. That's really bad. Oh, jeez. No, 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 no. Same with these. 7 injured citizens now. intruders are dead, presumably. Oh shit, it's webs. Shit. Okay, wait, I gotta set up. Okay, there. Oh, wait. Now I'm gonna make it take. There we go. It's not even moving. Come on, Dralta. Maybe this Dralta can kill the thing for us. Yeah, right. Really just gonna sit here? What is it even attacking? I didn't even see it. Is this Dralta gonna get webbed or what? No? Can you not web one of those dudes or something? We're just gonna wait until it gets close to the steps and then we'll attack. getting close. You can see the steps. The Droll has led them right to us. Little do they know that's what I wanted them to do. Let's see what happens. He's dead already? Wow.
ESL this season, and actually very excited me by this matchup specifically, in the qualifiers. So if you watch those qualifier vids, thank you very much for checking those. I know they were really long. But we have up here in the top right, this is Tyson. In my opinion, Tyson's Protoss vs. Terran looked overall the best in the qualifiers. There is a little asterisk there because we had other players that maybe looked unbelievably good in the later game, like Shuttle, like some of the best later game PvP I've seen in a very long time. But it felt to me like, especially if you haven't seen the qualifier match between Tyson and JYJ, he's the one that eliminated JYJ. It's the first season JYJ hasn't been in ASL for a very long time. But Tyson's play was immaculate in that Dominator game. Just really unbelievably well done. And his opponent here, Royal. Royal was the other side of one of Shuttle's best series. Shuttle had really good PvT overall. He had like one bad attack in every game because he's Shuttle. But he had like this unbelievable, awesome game. Again on Dominator. The map gives us really good games. Against Royal. And Royal was able to just like cross every T, dot every I, and bring that home. So that was an awesome series. So now I'm looking at this, I'm like, you know what? Royal versus Tyson? Yeah, let's go. I'm not normally that much of a fan of Royal's TVP, but yeah, he just played it so well against Shuttle that, like, I guess I have to renew my ideas if he keeps playing like that. Like, I really liked the way that he approached that game. As opposed to some of the more optimization-based games that he's given us in the past, where it feels like he's a little bit outdated because he's trying to eke out every edge, and that doesn't do well against some of the more decisive plays. Anyways, yeah, here we are on Eclipse. We have an offensive gas obviously coming down. This is an older Sim City that's very, very good if you have proxy gates. Basically, Marines can get through here, here, and here. And Zealots can't go anywhere. So the Zealots have to go over here. Sometimes you even build a depot down here so they can only pass through the mineral line, so they basically can't get out. The Marines pop in and out like whack-a-mole and, just go to town on those Zealots. But it's not really a Zealot rush. He has his gate just in his main base. It's not even a forward gate, so it's like, it's not very threatening. He goes for the offensive gas, and he goes for the Nexus right away, which Royal sees. So from here, you have to kind of look at it at Royal's point of view, and it's like, okay, well, what do we need to do? The gas does need to get taken down, a command center does need to get started, and you either need to make Marines literally nonstop or get a bunker up eventually with at least 3 to 4 Marines out already, because there's already a Zealot and a probe. And 1 Zealot versus 3 Marines, the 3 Marines win with good micro. And with a probe there, though, it actually turns into Protoss' favor, but he kills the probe quickly, and he has 4 Marines and good micro, so it's not a problem. You can see the Zealot takes a ton of damage and does have to back up. I think it's totally fine for Tyson to have tried that. If there's like a misclick or anything, you could see this start to get a little bit hairy for Royal, who needs to kind of build up his mineral bank so he can make his factories. Okay, looking up at Tyson's base, just getting the cybernetic score. He's making a couple more Zealots here. And, he actually took some more damage on that Zealot. We didn't see that. I think maybe what he did was he clicked it up to here to retreat, and then the Marines chased, and it got aggroed in and almost died there. So that does make it a little bit more hairy, but good move to run away because his Marines are not high enough health to fight against, like, probes plus 2 Zealots, even if one is very badly hurt. So 1 factory on the way. He is making that bunker with just the initial 4 Marines. This is like, it's very well done on both sides. I love seeing games like this where I'm like, I have nothing negative to say. They are both just doing like exactly what they should be doing in theory. And obviously it can be fun to move outside of theory and kind of do some wacky stuff, but like, if you get a really solid foundation to the game, because, sometimes we have these games where it's like, for instance, think of the Shuttle games that we saw during the qualifier, where, like, there's a lot of questionable stuff that happens early on, and then it turns into an amazing game, and you're like, but what if the questionable stuff hadn't happened? Here, nothing questionable has happened. This has just been very solid gameplay on both sides. So, Robo coming up. He has that second gas going, so we're definitely going to see, the shuttle speed very quickly here, I would say. Going to get observatory first. So
Why is everybody out of their uniforms?
like robo build time. So what you do is you go shuttle,
They're on
observer,
staggered training.
Reaver.
What the fuck?
And that's like a really good way.
No
to just
one
kinda
is
be
in
like, okay,
wearing anything.
The robotics has been making nonstop. You know, we're totally safe on that. Oh, starport. Oh, this is cool. Ooh, this is a cool build. I am really, I'm getting chills right now. I'm very excited to see what he's going to do with this. So control tower right away definitely points us towards he wants to get a dropship. The thing is, he opened 2 factory, and he's getting academy. Oh my god, I'm actually getting the worst chills right now. I need a blanket. This is, okay, so one of my favorite builds of all time, and the only game on Artosis Cast that I watched before I casted, and I told everyone about that, was a fantasy build where he went gasless expansion into 1 fact, 1 starport academy. It was so cool that I was like, I have to cast this on the channel and explain why this is such a cool build. Because fantasy, you know, playing it all is cool. But anyways, this is very similar to that, but it's not a gaseous expand, which means, because it was the offensive gas expand, which banks you more minerals. So he's got the 2 factory, and he's getting the academy, which he just scanned to check, and he's getting a dropship. This is very, very cool. So like, there are builds where you go 2 factory and you hide a starport near your opponent, so it looks like you're going to do a pressure that looks exactly like this, and the goons all come to the front, and then you drop in the main base with vultures. It's like a very cool, tricky build. This is like a little bit different. This is a few more moving parts in it, because it does have, you know, the comsat very quickly. The observer hasn't seen the starport as of yet. That's why you generally build it on somewhere out on the map, because it's a slightly slower drop, and the observer will scout the starport generally. Now, Tyson didn't actually pull it up. He did miss scouting that. So there's a real potential here for these 4 vultures to do a lot of damage. So see, he's brought this back up. He's watching. He's like, okay, there's a lot of vultures being made. He does have the Reaver, so he shouldn't be too afraid of this push in general. But look at this. He's going to bring up the drop, and he's got these units here, and he's going to push the 3rd base at the same time. So here goes a drop into the natural. So I'm a little bit wacky here with the observing at the moment. Drops 2 into the main base. So 3 kills on these. And a Reaver drop at the same time. So both players going pretty crazy. Oh my god, he misclicked. He clicked on the comsat as opposed to the SCVs there. And it did deal a ton of splash damage to SCVs, but does not end up killing them. If those were probes or drones, a lot would have died, but I've never seen someone click on a comsat and get kills because of that. So I think that was a misclick. Anyways, starting to try to deal with this. He's trying to lay some mines. Laying mines near the Reaver makes sense because it has to either be picked up or target the mine instead of the vulture. So it kind of buys you time, even though it basically never works. Oh, good mine drag into some of those SCVs. The vultures are all cleaned up on the other side of the map. He doesn't have missile turrets here. Oh, he has 1 under there, so that is good. Drops the Reaver out in the natural. Trying to go for some damage. Little bit of a glitch there. Anytime you shoot behind the mineral patches, the odds of a glitch go like exponentially up. In fact, it doesn't really glitch in other locations. And someone's gonna be like, yes, it does. I've seen it. No, it's the Scarab is targeting a unit, and if you can block the unit from getting there, there's actually certain ways you can retreat your units to get the Scarab to not go, but that's not a glitch. That's your opponent kind of like playing well, or well, the thing is, it can be luck based when people don't know what the hell they're doing, but it is a thing. It is a thing. There's ways you can make like single file retreat paths for SCVs where the Scarab, because the back SCV won't be the one that the Scarab targeted, it gets everything in line, and the Scarab gets behind all the SCVs and will never reach the front one. Anyways, enough of that crap. We have a little push of just 4 tanks up here. This is an insane game. When do you see 4 tanks and a Marine blindly push across the map at 9 minutes, 30 seconds? Literally never. So I don't know what he's going to get done here, because it just feels like this is such a small army. 2 Reavers are crawling slowly across the ground. He's got, what, 8 goons? So he comes up with the 8 goons. If Royal targets the Reavers, that would be really good. It looks like he doesn't. He's not really targeting much of anything here. I think he's just doing something at home. So this does get cleared. He loses 4 goons to kill 5 tanks. And the tanks maybe did like a little bit of damage other than that, but like that, obviously that was not super great for Royal. And I mean, that's, you never see an attack like that, and maybe that's part of why, even though it looked pretty good. If he had targeted down the Reavers, I would have given it to him in a certain way, because the Reavers are more expensive than a tank. So it's like, okay, we're starting to get some real valuable units, but he didn't quite do that. So bit of a mistake, I think. Up on 5 factories right now, 3rd command center on the way. And a bunch of gates coming up. You know, obviously we've had like a lot of drops and counter drops here. Very aggressive game by both sides. Tyson coming in with his double Reaver. Oh, nothing is sieged. So, yeah, gets that first Goliath. Getting the Goliaths is really, really good. And he probably wants to get the turret. Goes after the Goliath first. Okay, there is a Wraith. So there is a... This is going to expire eventually. So it's just about getting as much damage as you can. Okay, he's going to get another tank. Not like the best Reaver drop, but it wasn't terrible either. I can't look at that and say it did nothing. Like, probably value-wise, it was a little bit better for Royal, but he did lose a good amount of mining time and things like that. Royal is on, like, a very, very solid worker count here at 64. Psystorm and Legs on the way here for Tyson. We have a little drop coming in behind the mineral line. Okay, he's going to fly right past. There's not great drop locations left because of the cannons. Like, you can still get a little bit of damage, but this is like, these are very well-placed cannons overall. So, you know, the drops, like, honestly, just getting your opponent's army to focus on this for a moment while you kind of set up. You can see he's setting up right now. Like, okay, very strong defensive position with turret. He's setting up turrets here. So if your opponent is kind of paying attention to this... Oh, there is actually this little angle that doesn't get hit. Nice. So that is a little bit annoying. But yeah, keeping him busy there does allow Royal to kind of get himself into a nice position back at home. Going to start adding some more factories. Do we have a science facility? There's a second armory. There's another factory. I must be... Does he... Because if you're getting the second armory, you should have a science facility start at the same time. Maybe this will be it. No? Am I missing it? Is it, like, floating somewhere? Sometimes you float it for vision. No. He... Right? I'm not missing it, right? Because he... I think there must have been like it didn't make, because what you do is you make the science facility and the second armory at the same time, and then you have your upgrades going. And he made the second armory, and like obviously he's got a decent factory count, a good defensive setup, and he's got all the SCVs he needs. So like the science facility is what you need right now. And it, okay, he just started it, so it looks like, yeah, I think it just didn't make when he told it before. So not his fault. Terran players, is not your fault. Now we have the Dragoons here, just kind of like shoring in the edges. Has a Psystorm drop coming in and gets like nothing out. That Goliath was a great ad. He would have gotten 2 High Templars out if this Goliath wasn't there. So that actually made a big difference, you know, as far as blocking that coming in. That's painful for Tyson. I think he actually needed that Psystorm drop. This is like... Look, Royal is ahead in supply right now, which you really never want. Tyson is setting up more bases. And we're getting into this position, like, Eclipse plays in a kind of a very funny way. So the really natural thing for Protoss to do is take this as a 4th. And I actually like it, well, no, I like it for the Protoss player when they take this base, because this is actually very tricky to attack. And Terran can't take this as a 4th. Terran actually has to go in this direction. So what you do is, when they go in this direction, you're threatening attacks here. And obviously you can threaten attacks here. This is not as good a lane because it's kind of in between and allows Terran to react more quickly. But what Terran will do is they'll generally set up here and try to push here while holding here. And what you do is you make nexuses down here, and see, he had a probe down there. So what you do is you just expand down here, and suddenly it's like, okay, well, where does Terran focus? And while threatening all those different attacks and making it hard for Terran to attack anything, I feel like that's a really good way to play Eclipse. It's very hard to play against. By the way, air attack on the way. So he is getting ready for a potential carrier switch, which can be really strong. Not right now. He would die if he tried right now, but It's so cheap to start getting attack upgrades compared to what they do for you potentially later. Another just blind probe sent down. He should clear that, though. Okay, you know, Tyson is not max right now, but he does have a lot of shuttles. Looking at Royal, he's got 2-2 on the way. He's got a very good factory count with 3 add-ons. Love to see that. Not super well defended in this area, and the Observer sees that, so I wouldn't mind seeing some rotations from Tyson based on that. Like, you can see the entire army is going in this direction because you need to really seriously take this base. And notice how he's taking it right around max supply. This is like a painful lesson for Terran players. If Protoss has their army sitting up here, like the whole thing, and you're not maxed, they will win the game. Like, you basically need to be maxed to take your 4th base on Eclipse most of the time. Obviously, there are scenarios where that isn't the case, but it's just you leave yourself really open to attacks otherwise. It's just with the multiple attack paths, and, you know, like, for instance, if they're sitting up here, the ramp that you're trying to fight up, it gets really dangerous if you don't have high supply before your 4th base. You're spread really thin trying to block everything that can occur. So right now, Royal is sending down 1,000,000 vultures only. And realistically, he may want to actually clear out some of his vulture supply. Sometimes you get a lot of vultures, and realistically what you want to do is over time lose vultures and gain Goliaths and siege tanks. Mostly siege tanks, but some Goliaths as well. It just makes a higher quality max, a stronger max. Really good setup, very good missile turrets. Tyson, he's diving in with the drop specifically, and he does have carriers started, by the way. So this is him trying to be, like, very annoying. He's like, that's a really good SCV split. Notice that he splits them into here, 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 here. So very, very good SCV splits, but that was an expensive drop for Tyson to pull off. Royal, I believe, has an attack timing that's open, and it is probably the only one that's going to open this game. So looking back here, and let's see what he's scanning. Oh yeah, he just scanned it. So he sees that attack, because when they do an attack like that, it's like they're clearing supply. You have to check for carriers because you have to attack immediately. So he's actually got this window, and like I said, this is his one attack window for this game. If he just sat here and remaxed, then the carriers would basically be ready, and suddenly the whole dynamic of the game shifts. So he is attacking up and definitely has an advantage with this attack. Little counterattack here for Tyson. He knows he can't fight this because so much of his supply is sucked up in trying to get the carriers going. So he's going to try to attack here. I feel like he kind of needs to kill this base because he's going to lose at least a couple bases over here is what it looks like to me. This attack from Royal is super, super strong. But he doesn't have that many units over here. His army is really light. Like, he sacked 40 supply down here and started all back up in carriers. So it's like a podunk little garbage army, and it is going to get cleared super, super fast. And if Royal's quick about this, because this army is in the way of the gates, he can kill this Nexus and this Nexus almost instantaneously. Like, if he just sends units, he is going to clear those. Now, look at all the SCVs he's bringing up. This should be for missile turrets. Like, I mean, I guess he could repair stuff, but it doesn't really make sense. If you just make, like, 10 missile turrets right now, you're gonna crush. He brings his SCVs. I'm not sure. I think he just kind of clicked them up here, and he's doing something else right now. You know, even using them for vision is somewhat useful. GG is called by Tyson. That was a good game. I felt like they both played very, very well there. I think, like I said, when the drop came in and the Goliath and 2 turrets were standing here and he didn't get any Psystorms with his initial 3 High Templars, that was a little bit painful. If he had gotten some decent economic damage there, I feel like he could have just kind of like taken these bases and maybe traded a little bit. But the fact that Royal got up into this really strong army, and I think Tyson was looking and saying, okay, that army is so efficient. You know, the one thing I'm always talking about with like these speed shuttle type builds where you have like mass High Templar speed shuttle gateway unit, you can't kill an entrenched Terran, especially when they're starting to get that many great upgrades like 2-2. Maxed out, high siege chain count, lots of turrets everywhere. You're never going to break it. So he wanted to switch into those carriers. And so that's when he bombed in with the 4 additional shuttles. The first shuttle, again, if it had done well, it might have put him in a position where he could have continually traded and grinded down the game into a very winning position. But since that did nothing, Tyson's deciding to go and get carrier tech prepared and then do like a strong move with the 4 shuttles, getting rid of 40 supply there. It makes sense in a way. It's just Royal blocked it really well, really quickly. Instantly, we heard like 4 or 5 scans. One of them hit the carrier.
Yeah.
And he went. Excellent play. You know, I've said some things about Royal and where I've been like, you know, he has an ASL championship. I don't know if he's really going to get another one. He is a great player, but maybe optimizes too much sometimes. I feel like we're watching a very informed Royal. Because normally he's a player, when I cast him, where I'm like, this guy is just a killer TVZ. He's very good at the other matchups, but can be fragile. This game, he was anything but fragile. He was rock solid in this game.
How's it
This was
going, 1PQ?
excellently played by Royal. I'm getting chills right now thinking about it, actually. Like, this was superb. And Tyson is very good at this matchup right now. I feel like he actually made minimal mistakes, and Royal still was able to dismantle him. Man, what a game this was. Seriously. The dropship and everything, like the 2-factory, Academy, Starport. Oh, man. I want to see real quick if he saw the robo go up. So he ran away there. Tried to get back up. Couldn't get back up. Squeezed through. He did see the robo. Okay, see, he saw the robo. Because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, this build looks so good. But if they go DT, you insta-lose. So he saw that robo. And that's what made him go for Starport Academy. As opposed to... if otherwise, it might have been like Academy Armory. It might have been. Hey guys, welcome back to Artosis Cast. You know, I've said it before. I'll say it again. This is gonna. It feels like this is just becoming like a ladder rivalry. There's been so many games between Bisu and Speed, and I'm trying to cast them all. Just like.
Oh me, no, I
come up with many matches
only
that are
play
kind of
StarCraft
bad.
casually. I'm not good at it at all.
You know, obviously, Speed has been dominating the ladder. They're both in ASL. You know, Bisu is still one of the best Protoss players. I think that he plays a very good PvT overall. Occasionally, he'll do one of these attacks where I'm just like, I don't know, man. Doesn't seem too good to me, but we'll see if something like that ends up happening here. We're on Deja Vu in cross spawn locations. So yeah, I guess we'll end up seeing how that plays out. Like, is it going to be a Nexus first or something like that?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to make the gateway. He's going to play honorably, at least somewhat here with that gateway. Not even scouting as of
Maybe I
yet.
should play the campaign
And first he
sometime. That
goes-
might be
oh,
fun.
It might be a gasless expansion. He's going pretty far out there for his barracks. Normally, yeah, if you have the barracks this far forward, it's generally a gasless expansion. So probably a very, very fast expansion here for Speed. So we'll see what that ends up doing to this game. Now, yeah, I guess, you know, I had a lot of fun casting the ASL qualifiers recently. Obviously, that was a good time. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into that and commenting and liking all that. Those videos were really successful, so I'm really happy about that. Some of the longer ones in the past haven't been as compelling, I think, to people, but I definitely feel like that does add a lot of flavor. And, you know, right now I'm kind of like, I guess, casting ASL players. And you know, it's not that I want to skip the guys who didn't make ASL. If one of their great games comes up, I'm sure I'm going to still do some of those. But definitely want to kind of focus on those players since ASL does start very soon. It's like, what, about 10 days? 9 days, maybe? And, you know, of course, Taste I will be casting the entirety of the ASL for you guys. So definitely do check that out. But, yeah. Love to see what type of shape these guys are in. Everyone's like practicing a lot right now. Obviously, they're all practicing before getting ready for the ASL qualifiers as well. But, you know, now that we're actually there and we know who's qualified and everything, this is your chance. This is how you kind of elevate yourself as a player. So Right now, Bisu going to be going for that Nexus. Not that far behind, really. But Speed should be pretty happy with what this opening looks like so far. He's actually making a third Marine here, and he did do an end scout and doesn't find Bisu, so now knows that he is, in fact, cross-spawn, and does get that bunker started. That's kind of interesting. You know, with the end scout, the fact that he went up to the third Marine, sometimes you don't see the third Marine before the bunker. So that actually feels a little bit safer than some of the gasless expands that I've seen. Kind of interesting. I'm just going to have to think on that a little bit. But gets his factory going, and of course his command center is going to be coming along very quickly here. And the Dragoon does prevent the SCV from getting any further, but, you know, he'll probably play a pretty standard-looking gasless expansion. Like, if you don't get the scout off, you see a Dragoon, you probably just have to throw your eBay down right after your second factory. Like, he could skip it. He could say, oh, you know what? I don't think it's DT, and get, like, a better build order off. And he would technically be right this game, but it would be very risky. So let's see if he throws that down. Because realistically, like, in the next 10 seconds or so, would be the I don't want to die to DT no matter what timing for the engineering bay. And, you know, every little bit that you wait after that makes it a little bit more risky. So let's see, because that, again, that he didn't really get the scout off. So there is a little bit of risk inherent in the way he's playing this game. Snow detection? Okay. Well, the thing is, DT is so not popular right now, and especially with, like, really high-end players. So there you go. He starts it a little bit later, and it's reasonable, right? He saw, like, a Dragoon and everything. The thing is, if you start your Citadel the second that the Cybernetics Core finishes, the DT would be here before he can get a missile turret. That's, again, that's not going to be the case, but I always find it interesting to see which types of risks players are taking. Like, honestly, if I'm a Protoss player about to play Speed in this season, he has so many games on the ladder, I would just go and look for commonalities like this, where it's like, okay, these are the games where he didn't get a full scout off. His eBay timing is this. Can I get a DT in those scenarios, right? And the thing is, that might not happen, but, like, that can give you literally a free win. Like, so as long as you block that scout, it's like, okay, well, we know he doesn't go, you know, for an eBay with for the earliest timing of this. Anyways, whatever. It's neither here nor there. I like the build that Bisu has done here. I think that this is the best counterplay against gasless expansion that a gateway expansion has. So basically what's happened here is he went 1 gate range robo, 3rd Nexus. So what you do is you put pressure on the bunker, and generally that will force the siege upgrade, but he hasn't done that here. Like, he's been playing a little bit more greedily, and he's saying, okay, you know what? It's cross spawn. We don't really need siege. He has 4 Marines in the bunker. He goes up to 3 tanks. So this is like the best counter against what Bisu is doing here. So Bisu kind of like greeded, and in a way, like, Speed cut quite a bit. It was like later engineering bay, and he skipped the siege mode where, you know, if this had been a more dedicated range Dragoon attack, it's possible it could have done damage. Probably not cross spawn once again, but yeah, some good back and forth between these two so far. Now, a couple of vultures being rotated around. The Dragoons coming out to kind of meet this push. And this is the important thing happening right now. Look at that. Bisu had the probe waiting there, kind of a StarCraft 2-esque move, waiting to make a full block. Throws a couple of mines down, but this is going to be deadly because he's getting siege. He's going to be able to kill this Nexus. If he just walks the tanks, well, he could focus fire a pylon, but, like, if you rally vultures nonstop and walk the tanks to here and siege, the Dragoons are going to have a hard time. But if you stand them right near there, it makes it a little bit harder. Now, he doesn't have his siege quite yet. Okay, he kills the pylon. Okay, this was actually, like, perfect from Speed. He gets as far back as he can. Bisu should be able to save this base. And, in fact, he's focusing on killing off Dragoons, where he could have focus fired the probes a little bit, but he's reducing that Dragoon account as much as he possibly can. And, oh, my God, is he getting insanely good trades. That is a crazy amount of Dragoons that he's killed. I cannot believe how many Dragoons he just got. That was really decisive from Speed. And the thing is, he knew he was going to lose all the tanks, but he reduced the Dragoon count so significantly. The thing is, he could have killed a lot of the probes, but then the Dragoons are going to clean up his bush like a little bit better, a little bit quicker. But look at this. He has definitely a follow-up plan here of going into 6 factory. After killing that many Dragoons, he said, all right, let's just go ahead and follow this up with a timing attack, which makes perfect sense. Now, he does have his comm-sats up. He has some additional missile turrets up. So just playing it very, very safe from here. The Vulture's doing a little bit of scouting. Honestly, I just don't want to see him really lose any units. I think if he maximizes his unit count right now, that's going to make it really hard for Bisu. Now, you see Bisu's been on 4 gate for a while. He does not have Citadel yet. He's definitely going to add some gates. And look, he's got this over where the 3rd base should be going. And he actually does have an observer on top of the factories as well. So, like, this is pretty clear. Bisu needs a Citadel, and he needs to go 8 gates. Seven, 8. Is he going to go even more? Oh, he's going to go 10. Okay. Or maybe he goes 9. Yeah, there's the 10. Okay, so he's taking this as seriously as you can. 10 gates is like basically the maximum. 10 gates plus Robo on 3 base for Protoss is like, that's basically it. That's the limits. It's kind of like if you see like 9 gates on 2 bases against Zerg with some observers being made. Like, it's like, yeah, this is going to spend every drop of resources you get and maximize his army size. Now, Speed has added the 3rd add-on, which is perfectly smart because he lost the initial 3 tanks, so he needs to make up for that in a way, and he has gone into the 7 factories. So he's still got that really good Vulture production as well. He's overmade Goliath slightly so that even if some get picked off, he can kill the shuttle really quickly. These guys are actually both so dialed in here. There has been so many excellent decisions made on both sides. Really, like, you look at this strategically, excellent decisions on both sides. Bisu, look at the supply of Bisu here. He's up 10 workers, but he's up 32 supply. So over 20 army supply advantage. His Zealot legs are late, which we've talked about this endless times on the channel. You just need to get those Zealot legs as quickly as possible. That's the real key to holding these pushes. So I'm a little bit nervous, but if he takes the engagement right exactly here, it might work even with slow Zealots. The thing is, he has a lot of Dragoons out of position, so he is going to pull back. Yeah, if those Dragoons happen to be standing up there and all those Zealots come down at the same time, maybe. Now, he does pick off a tank on the periphery here. You've got to be really careful as Speed. In fact, Speed needs to just back up and expand. Look at Bisu's supply, 180. He went from losing like 12 goons over here to now we're at 180 supply at 1 minute 30 seconds. I mean, 11 minutes 30 seconds. Kind of crazy. Speed actually pulls back and wraps around. This is a very powerful position, but this is like a position where Bisu might come in behind it or he might counterattack. When his Zealot legs finish, he has so much army right now, it's actually ridiculous. So Speed setting up, trying to kill this base. Sorry, I'm so zoomed out here, but it's like this is a very, very long tank line. But there's so many Zealots in here, I can't imagine Bisu losing his Nexus. Like, he's going to clear the army, but if Speed is efficient enough, there might be a world in which he can just take a 3rd base. I don't know he's going to be efficient enough. Bisu actually leaves 12 Zealots on the side that are not fighting. If these were in this army, like, this would be so one-sided. Instead, he's losing... Like, he shouldn't have lost a single one of those goons, realistically. Huge mistake from Bisu with that attack move. Huge mistake. The fact that he had a whole group over here, it's like he attack moved it there or something. So he loses way more than he should, and he's still up 50 supply. Top left being taken here from Bisu. Speed starts his third base on location over here after the failed push. Nice micro there. He is going to be able to gain a little bit of value because he killed so many Dragoons. His Vultures can kind of roam free for a moment. Reaver, the only thing kind of stopping him from that. Bisu having to make a big round of Dragoons right now. This is a tough situation here for Speed, I'd say. The thing is, like, I would be calling game over if those Zealots had actually been in the attack, but the fact that he left 24 supply out of his attack still beat everything. He would have been so much more efficient with those. But now Speed is like, okay, he's going to run out of minerals here. Not only does he need to take this, but look at how low these minerals are getting. He's at like 400 a patch. Like, he actually needs to take yet another base. He needs a double expand. Basically what he needs to do is, as he secures this, push into this area and turtle it like crazy. I don't think there's a world in which he can expand to this area and hold on to everything. Because I think what he needs to do basically is like work towards max while expanding here and push north. I don't feel like there's really anything else for him. By the way, I love Speed leaving a couple Vultures over here. You really need to do that. How many games are lost because Terran doesn't have a Vulture in the other main base? But yeah, like Speed does not have like a timing attack coming up, I guess is what we're trying to look at and explain here. Reaver drop comes in from Bisu. This is just kind of like a minor annoyance right now for Speed. Siege is up once again. This is definitely a little bit annoying. Gets rid of that siege tank. Hey, actually, I mean, he's stopping a lot of mining right now. Little bit of a Speed Vulture rotation towards top left. And he even gets the Reaver into the main base. That is so annoying. Clearing a space for his shuttle to fly through. Yeah, and Speed should just... Oh, he does actually pick it up. I was going to say he should just get the kill there, but it doesn't look like that'll be the case. Being really, truly annoying at this point. But Bisu is maxed out, and now he's on 5 base. Wow. I am trying to get inside of Speed's head as to what the plan is from here. Oh, man, a Storm Drop comes down. 10 kills, 1 kill. Brings him down to 45 workers. The thing is, his economy... I mean, it is his big problem, but 45 actually still saturates his patches for now. 45 is like low 2-base saturation for Terran. And he's like basically out of mineral patches up here, or he will be momentarily. So he's still going to basically be mining his bases efficiently. But obviously this is not playing well into a longer game since Bisu has those 5 bases up and running. Okay, Bisu actually going to just attack in since he is maxed out on 5 bases. Bombing out on top of those siege tanks. There is a little drop over here, so Speed is doing a good job of trying to get some sort of counterplay going. But yeah, I think like Bisu here, as long as he clears this, doesn't lose that Nexus, yeah, and he is going to be able to do that pretty easily. Even if he loses all of these units, Speed is basically dead at this point. So, like, Bisu played a really excellent game here. I actually want to go over this a little bit. Okay, so I want to jump back to the opening build. So he gets up here and he sees that it is a gasless expansion. So if you look at his counter build, I mentioned that I think that this is the best thing that you can do against gasless expansion, where you go just like 1 gate, you can go observer with it to make sure that mines don't screw you up or something, into 3 base instantly, because you just don't need a lot of units, because you know, it's like if you see this setup, you're like, oh, okay, it's a gasless expansion. You know how late their siege tanks are. And a lot of the time, what you'll do here is force siege mode. And if you force siege mode, you're golden, okay? So the fact that we had speed... Oops. Sorry, clicked the wrong spot there. We had speed, skip the siege mode, and part of that's cross-spawn. And, you know, I talked a lot about the missile turret and the fact that he didn't really get a great scout. That is true. There is a world in which he dies to a bad player. So, yeah, he comes out here, and this is kind of a crazy set of engagements that happens and decision-making that happens, okay? So look at this. The vultures trying to run by make you be very, very careful, right? He has to make this full wall. He did have this full wall already set up here. He needs to protect his probes for sure from these, because this push can do multiple things. It can either keep everything together and hurt you, or the vultures can do a counterattack and get in somewhere while the dragoons are trying to deal with this. So look. He sets up. This is insane. So that was one dragoon dead. Okay, so let's just count his dragoons here. So he had 12 dragoons. And oftentimes what you'll see here is Terran will target these probes and just kill a bunch of probes and then kill some dragoons. So let's look. So this was, again, it was 12 dragoons total. He killed 10 dragoons with his 3 tanks. So this sets him up to go into the 7 factory push, but Bisu has the observer there. So Bisu goes up to 10 gates, which is just he just wants as many units as he can possibly get. So let's just jump up here, and you can see his macro just explodes from here on the 3 base. He's got great saturation. He's slowing this down as he can.
Oh, hey, Neemst.
Even a little
How's it
bit.
going?
So powerful. Okay, so speed pushes up. And this is where I called, okay, speed needs to go home. He's been slowed enough. He needs to go home. And I think I am correct here. Look at this. If you look at the supply differential, plus 50 supply. 10 of which is workers, of course.
Oh, all right.
But that's 40 army supply more
Just,
than speed has. And the thing is, when you force 10 gates
dwarfing
on
it
3
up.
base, Bisu doesn't have a whole lot else going on. So if you pull this back, right? So if we just kind of take a look here, I'm zoomed out as much as I can get. And look at this. Oh my gosh. So if you take this army, right? This army here, and you pull it back and you set up here, okay? Let's say you set up here, you have a turret here, a turret here. Okay, you have mines here, mines here, mines here. Okay, this is a very good setup. And I believe on 7 factories, when you're already at 130... Hey guys, welcome back to Artosis Cast. Hope you're having a nice day here today. I'm just trolling you with the black dots. Sorry about that. You know, I have been trying to add some new, fun, exciting things in where we can do more, and just the weird way I have to set up something like drawing on the screen. I did not notice I had recorded both of those videos in one day, so a big thanks to just every single human who pointed out there was a tiny black dot there. But yeah, anyways, that's gone now. Sorry about that. I'll be more careful in the future. Anyways, we're going to do another Bisu versus Speed game because I did play a couple. We have Bisu down here in the bottom right of Deja Vu and Speed in the bottom left. You know, yesterday's game between these two. You know, I feel like games like that one are very instructive, very informative to watch them get played out and kind of the different decisions being made, and where there's like clear lines of, you know, this is a really good decision, this is a poor decision, this is a maybe, this, you know. I feel like anytime that you can look at a game through those eyes, basically, that's going to be like really, really useful for improving understanding, because it becomes very, very cut and dry. A lot of things do, which makes it a lot easier. Because, you know, there's definitely a lot of positions where you look at it and you're like, well, I don't know, actually. It could have gone this way. It could have gone that way. And then some you look at it, you're like, well, mathematically, this was never going to work. So why do we do this? Anyways, hope that you guys have been enjoying Artosis Cast. Really, very much appreciation for everyone checking it out. And yeah, thank you for subscribing, leaving a comment, liking, all that stuff. Now, Nexus first here from Bisu, but Speed, who is going for a gases expansion, is going to scout this first. The probe actually sees him coming from
Somebody
this
gonna
angle,
actually
so
kill
he
this
has that
Droltha
timing
finally?
effect. They both, well, he's going to know in just a second. He pops down there to see the Nexus and then turns around.
They've done so
But
much
yeah,
damage
like,
to
they're
it,
gonna
but can't
know
kill it.
about- Wait. What? Did he... Is he going to make like a second barracks or something? What is... Okay, I'm sorry. This is really weird because he like came down partway and then turned around. You know what? I think that actually was. I think what happened here is he saw the probe and the way that the probe was moving, because Beast was kind of moving it back and forth and then kind of moved it over. So he might have looked at that and had the SU keep going and go, oh, you know what? Actually, that was coming from this angle. So Speed's going to scout this incredibly, incredibly late, which means he's doing a very safe version of the gasless expansion where he's making 3 Marines right away. And Bisu's able to just go super, super greed mode with this. Like, he is not going to skip a single probe. He is going ahead with just 1 gateway and right into the Cybernetics core as well. And as Speed gets up here and scouts that he's not here, he's like, oh, that was like... The thing is, no one really brings their probe out here and dances here and then finds out where the SUV is coming from and goes in that direction. But, like, that actually really threw Speed for a loop here. That's a funny thing, right? Like, you can't account for everything. You can make yourself rules like, no, I'm going to scout these locations no matter what. But a lot of the time when you take a read like that, you'll actually be right and be like, yeah, you did come from top right. And suddenly you've scouted quicker and they can't block seeing what they're doing and things like that. So kind of an interesting little opener here. So getting down here and seeing 2 Zealots, he knows pretty much what's going on. Speed right now going for his factories, going to get a couple factories going. And, of course, these are not as optimized as they could be because of the bunker plus 3 Marines. He could have gotten those a little bit later, just reordered slightly. You know, like, for instance, this factory could have been about 10 seconds faster. Not the biggest deal, not the end of the world, but just something to point out there. So it is basically a gasless expansion here against, like, a pretty greedy Nexus first. And you can see Bisu is up by about 4 workers. 2 to 4, it looks like, is going to rotate back and forth. So obviously that is a slightly better opener for Bisu without doubt. Like, he's already got a shuttle on the way and we don't have a factory unit as of yet. The Sport Bay coming up, so going to be a very fast Reaver here as well. I'm actually kind of interested to see how quickly Bisu's going to try to take his 3rd base. Because in a lot of regular-ish opener games, like Factory Expand against, you know, Gateway Expand, like, you'll actually see games where it's 1 gate, Robo, Reaver, 3rd base. So I wonder if Bisu will try something like that here. The thing is, like, it is super, super, super rare to play against gasless expansion and not have them go to factory. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily that they will always pressure you with it. And in fact, I would say that there is no pressure really coming. This is just pure vulture production with speed and mines. So, like, there'll be pressure in the fact that there's vultures running around, but no pressure that could, like, end the game, you know? You'd have to, like, get your units out of position to lose to that. Whereas, you know, they bring siege tanks over, and, you know, suddenly you're going to take a lot of damage, possibly, as well. All right, so Reaver is about to pop out. He does have that shuttle speed on the way. The range for Dragoons coming as well. Just knocking down the egg right now. Already has those missile turrets up. This is actually a great build from Speed, I have to say. If you look at this, and by the way, this is a very interesting turret. Not many players make a turret in a location like this. Like, this turret, for most players, they'll build it like here or here. By the way, the shuttle comes up, does take a single turret shot and flies away. But anyways, the fact that he's gone for a ring of 4 turrets, and he'll probably... No, he is making 2 tanks, no Goliaths as of yet, but he's kind of just laid mines around, and he's trying to keep this from coming in at all. Bisu does find a little bit of a hole, but he actually takes a little bit more damage than he wanted there. A little bit of hull damage being taken, but will get in with the Reaver. So this is actually potentially really, really deadly. I love how Speed tried to greed this by skipping tanks for a really long time. But the Reaver getting in like this could... Ooh! The Reaver actually has a lot of kills at this point. Oh my god. Okay, and is he going to finish that? No, we don't quite get to see the exact kill count, but 37 SCVs against 50 probes is a gigantic difference. Remember that he was 2 to 4 workers within where Bisu was, so we can just kind of extrapolate that and or interpolate that or do some math with that or whatever. However it is that we might do that and just be like, okay, so he lost like 15 workers approximately. Obviously it can be things as well like Bisu didn't make workers and he killed more, or Speed stopped making workers at some point during that push and lost less. And no matter how you look at it, that was really, really painful there for Speed.
Is Geraldo gonna finally die?
The way that he went for
it's not moving
just
anymore.
Mines, like that can be a really clever way to do it, so that you're kind of like you don't want to buy too many tanks early in the game. They're very expensive. They slow everything else down. But unfortunately, does take quite a bit of damage there on this opening Reaver drop. His +1 is coming. That's a very, very quick science facility. I think what we're seeing here, yeah, I'm pretty sure what Speed's idea is that this game has to go very long for him to win. Literally 3-2. That's my kind of take on where Speed is at mentally in this game, because like this would be really hard to get away with. Like this is like a build from 2017, 2018, what we're looking at. Not with the mines and turrets specifically, but like 3 factories getting into science facilities. So that wouldn't be something you'd see right now, but just kind of getting those upgrades immediately kind of points towards Speed wanting to play a really long game, because there's no way that like regular fast 2-1 timing attacks don't work anymore. So doing something like this is like, okay, I'm gonna grind at +3 basically. All right, Speed shuttle coming in. Oh, this actually could do some good damage as well. Brand fresh Reaver here gets 3 kills immediately. Drops that Reaver out once again. Okay, gets another. Taking a little bit of damage, but gonna get 3 Marines and deal some damage there as well. Oh my god, 8 kills already. Yeah, that one's gonna glitch. All right, so 8 kills, 5 of which were SCVs, keeping that SCV count really, really low. I gotta say, like, Bisu's putting out like a very, very good game right now. Counter drop with these vultures. They are gonna get a few probes here. You can see Bisu pulls everything way, way back. Nice drill there to try to deal with these vultures a little bit. Speed picks him up quickly. Looks like he's headed towards that 3rd base, but already some Dragoons there to stop him. So dropship flies in. Yeah, he might get 1 or 2 probes here, but that's about it. Oh, a little bit of a missed target there. Okay, so the dust has settled. 61 workers against 55. Only 4 factories over here. The thing is, Bisu's economy is about to explode. Like, look, he's already up 40 supply. Only, what, 5 of which is workers? He's got Zealot legs on the way. A lot of gateways coming up. There's his 4th Nexus up here. He'll probably start a 5th relatively soon. Whereas I'm looking at Speed's position, and it's really questionable how he's going to be able to secure a 3rd base. Like, he's going to have to do, like, a mega turtle here. Like, where you land maybe your barracks and engineering bay, or maybe you float one, land one, that type of thing. Bunch of depots, missile turrets, mines in front, tanks behind. Because Bisu's supply difference, a lot of times I give Protoss, a hard time for, like, attack moving into, like, an entrenched Terran position. But when the supply differentials are going to look this big, you should do that. You should trade inefficiently, like, consistently, to try to break things, to just get anything off the board when you have so much more income than your opponent. Okay, picking up another Reaver over here. Bisu just kind of macroing cleanly off of those 8 gateways. Looks like he's going to start adding some gates up here as well. Couple vultures trying to catch any probe rallies up there. Very nice. There are a few probes headed up there, but the vultures get picked off before they can get them. All right, so right now, Speed is setting up for that third base location. He's kind of recovered his economy. His +2 attack is going to finish really, really soon, which definitely will be helpful. Got a few tanks down here. This is kind of a good defensive area sitting behind this little doodad thing. The Zealots coming in. Man, Speed just does not have very much. Oof. Yeah, the command center under some attack now as well. 6 factories. Oh, man. Like, when you're down 60 supply at 12 minutes, it's just not a good thing. And here's the thing, too, right? Because at the beginning of the game, like I did talk about that probe dance, and we're going to actually take a look at that probably after this. I don't think that's what led to this. Like, it felt like Speed was doing an okay job. It was that initial Reaver drop just doing so much damage. He was probably 1 turret shy of completely blocking it, which is a funny thing because you don't want to overmake turrets. You don't want to. But if you undermake, you can just lose a game that looks like this pretty easily. Bisu just miles and miles ahead, trying to get another Scarab off. Does lose that, but the damage dealt is immense. 5th Nexus on the way. This 4th one getting some good mining done. Some DTs mixed in. High Templars as well. In fact, 4 High Templars here. Looks like he's just going to bomb in some Zealots to take some damage here so he can storm everything. Ooh, the storm there would be so good. Oh, he wants to get the tanks instead. Honestly, I don't think it even matters. You get tanks, you get SCVs. It's kind of like a do anything you want at this point because you're so far ahead. Anything you kill is irreplaceable. That was pretty darn one-sided. I do want to take a quick look at the scout, though. Wait, a little bit further back. Okay, so let's take off Bisu's vision. So let's see. Okay, we're slowing it down to fastest. So what I saw there was the probe kind of came from here, looked down, and then turned back. I think he missed the very first appearance of the probe. I think what he saw was the probe then turned around and came down for a second. And if you see the probe coming down, then you're like, oh, then he's up there, obviously. There's no reason he would be down here and the probe would be going to the south. How close is that? That's pretty damn close. Ouch. Okay. Anyways, I don't think that that's what caused the loss there, but it shows this mistake happens to everybody. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching today. The Black Dot won't be returning. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, welcome back to our Tosis Cast. Today I would like for you to adjust your attention to the top right of your screen. You're going to notice that instead of seeing two completely annoying barcodes, I have magically typed in their actual IDs. We have Bisu here in the top right of Eclipse going up against True. And yeah, glad to finally bring that improvement. I know that people have been asking for that for a while. Honestly, wasn't that hard to do, but
Someone must have killed that draw there because I got more meat out of it.
Day where I forget to change the IDs once, and then every single comment is just like, oh well, that wasn't Bisu versus True, that was Speed versus Stark, or something like that. I know it's coming. Thank you guys so much for that. Well appreciated. All right, here we go. Both of these players, of course, getting into ASL. True here in the bottom left, getting in through the ACS tournament, winning that. They do have that new rule for it, where basically if you haven't been to like a deeper round of, I think it's like round of 16 or something, then you get to play. And the winner just goes directly in. So that's very cool. I think that's a great change to the ACS tournament. Gives it a lot more prestige. It's like a mega giga qualifier for the players that don't have a lot of ASL success. And of course, Bisu, you know, this guy will never not be in ASL. He's just, I mean, he's literally always one of the best Protoss in the world. So anyways, on Eclipse, this is one of our maps that are returning to ASL now. You know, I'm not the greatest fan of it, but I think that we've had some pretty good PVZs here overall. Bisu opening up with a forward gateway here, and just going to harass a little bit with this probe. He does see the timing of that spawning pool, so it'll probably be not too aggressive with these initial zealots. Might end up running them by the overlords and kind of making it look like he's going to attack. Maybe, hopefully, keep the Zerglings back or whatever. But you know, normally when they go for this pool first build, I don't feel like the zealots can end up doing too much. So first zealot actually goes the opposite way that the overlord is coming. So he is trying to actually hide what's going on with there. Now here's the thing: if the Zerglings go across the map, the zealot can come in and do some damage. So he's not too worried about a counterattack. And of course, you know, if he does get, you know, with the probe watching, if he does get the feeling that the Zerglings are going across, he can always pull a zealot back with the probe and just kind of hold position the ramp. So anyways, you can see these two zealots kind of staying out on the side. And Bisu, you know, he's watching very carefully where these Zerglings go. So like, look at this. True just doesn't know what's up at the moment. A secondary or a third pylon going up, and here you go. He's going to go block that ramp as the Zerglings go across, and now two zealots hitting this hatch. Therue's in trouble already. He's got to turn these things around immediately. Like, he's going to force a cancel on this hatchery. There's not a lot of zealots coming, or not a lot of Zerglings coming, not in time at least. And you can see here, definitely some nice micro going on. Okay, he targets down the probe and gets two Zerglings in that are not super high health, but look at this hatchery being destroyed. There's no way that these are going to give the value that these are going to give. Even if he saves this hatchery, it's like 5 lings coming up. He can actually kind of fight those. And the thing is, True has to fight with these immediately, and he has to try to keep these alive. Like, if he doesn't fight with these immediately, he can't wait for every Zergling to come up. He has to go in and actually take hits, or the hatchery is going to pop. Bisu is so close to killing this hatch right now. He might be able to... Oh, he was so close to forcing a kill at the moment. He's going to go behind the mineral patches and let these heal up a little bit. The other two zealots coming. Like, you have to go nothing but lings right now. It's true. This is really, really close to death, this hatchery. In the meantime, I think we'll see a cannon go up because, like, he knows that it has to be, like, pure lings being made. These two zealots actually turn around. Look at the mind games. Look at the mind games. Bisu has read this position perfectly. Perfectly. It's like nothing but lings right now. So he just walks back with his zealots. If he starts a cannon, what are the chances of holding this? Or of breaking through this, rather, is what I meant to say. Like, the cannon's on the way. He's got to break the gate right now. And the thing is, with this many Zealots, he's going to have 3 Zealots out here fighting easily. In fact, he goes all the way up to 4 out here fighting. He does have to make sure he blocks this, though. He just has to buy a little bit of time on this gateway for the cannon to finish, basically. So True is super all in at the moment. Oh, the probes are going to have to be pulled. He blocks these Lings for the time being. Uh-oh. Is True actually going to break in here? Cannon finishes, but a lot of Lings on top of it. He does start to block with those probes a little bit more. Needs to start another gateway here ASAP. He's actually going to come out and fight these a little bit. Start that gate. There you go. Get some Zealots on hold position. A lot of Lings coming up right now. He has just enough Lings here to make sure that the Zealots can't get the kill. You know what? True might actually break through. If Bisu had started this cannon just slightly earlier, I think that this game would already be over. But as is, I actually think he's going to break through at this point. Yeah, there's another cannon, but if he can kill this cannon off... Oh my god, look at Bisu's hold position here on the probes and the Zealot. This one Zealot is the backbone of this defense right now. I don't know that True can break through. He's actually making a lot of drones right now, so he is droning up. You know what? I'm going to call it. He should have made a scout. Do you think a scout could be made, fly across this map, and kill this before any anti-air will come? I think in this particular game, the answer was yes. Damn, that would have been something else, huh? All right, Citadel is on the way for Bisu. He has that Corsair out as well. Okay, now, drone count has gone up to 24. He's making Hydras. He has a lot of Speedlings. The unit count is definitely not high. It seems like this is going to turn into an all-in. A second all-in, I guess, is the right way to end up putting that. But, like, he's actually over the 3-hatch, like, drone count. So, like, he is adding a hatchery here. Maybe he just plays a macro game from here? The thing is, there's already 3 cannons. Bisu's already on kind of high alert at this point. He's got a lot of Zealots out there. The fact that we still have 2 Zealots behind here is hilarious. He should make a Hydra over here to start hitting them. That'll force them out. Yeah, kind of a very weird game going on right now. You know, and all of it comes down to Bisu sending the 2 Zealots in this direction and True counterattacking with his Zerglings. He just had no idea that Bisu was so far up there. And that... It's like just the amount of damage these were putting on the hatchery forced the Zergling all in, which almost broke through. And now we're in this really weird position where, well, Bisu's going to kill like every Overlord. Oh, man. Unbelievable play from Bisu. Like this is the strongest PvZ player ever, showing you how it's done right now. The fact that we are almost 9 minutes in, there's 2 Zealots still in this base is so funny to me, too. All right, he is going to bring these out. Obviously, as soon as they start getting hit by something, you may as well send them out. The trade isn't going to get better than that. Few Hydras coming up across the map right now. Zealot legs are done, though. A 4th cannon on the way. Like, True has reasonable production. I can't imagine him getting anything done here, though, right? Well, oh, man, and now there's CPs. Well, occasionally we have to have a one-sided wipe on the channel. Not every game is going to be fantastic, but it does show the different levels. You know, we've seen a lot of True games lately, and he's really played well. I've very much enjoyed his games. I think he deserves a spot in ASL. Obviously, he won the ACS, so that goes without saying, I guess. But then you watch him here against Bisu, and I'm like, well, this was, like, hilariously one-sided. And it's like, okay, yeah, I guess technically he's not dead right now. But he's on 31 workers. He's like, his Hydras right now are dying to a DT in his habits. And there's nothing wrong with Bisu's position. He's on 52 probes, which is absurdly high. He doesn't even have his gateways all added as of yet, so he's just going to explode as far as the macro goes. He's going to be able to take a third base if he wants. He's going to continue to attack. You can see he's in here getting even more drone kills. There's levels to this game, man. Just crazy. All right, double DT going into the natural. This is funny because there's so few units, they literally walk up and kill stuff. Oh, the drone actually with a really good body block there. No detection in the main base. I think this game is just going to very undramatically end. Undramatically. I'm going to have to think about that one. But look, Bisu has done infinity damage. He's in no danger whatsoever. Complete control of the game, adding his gateways up right now. It says 4, 7, 8, 9. 9 gates. Yeah, it looks like he's just going to go for like just an attack. There's no reason not to really at this point. He's just been in complete control the whole time anyways. He's about to have his +1 armor. He's getting his robo as well. There is a Spire coming up for True. That's probably his last chance to really make anything happen in this game, I would say. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ah, he gets it. Just not enough here for True. So yeah, the Spire, I believe that this is the last ditch effort. Okay, well, it looks like we had the DT run in and kill like a bunch more drones as well. 4 mutas is not gonna do it. 5 mutas. Oh, okay, he's fine now. Yeah. I'm waiting for the Brian voice that says, "Get out." This game is super done. I think we're just going to see the GG right here. Mutalisks come up. Doesn't really matter all that much. The mutas just can't kill Zealots that quickly. Speed Zealots actually are a reasonable counter to small amounts of mutas because they just take forever to kill them. Even throws a storm down on him, which is pretty funny. He has an Archon coming in as well. GG. Okay, well, I mean, not every game is going to be fantastic, but you do see the unbelievable level Bisu's at, where if you make one mistake against him, he will crush you. Damn, that was one-sided. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.
shit. I've never fought a Hydra before. I don't know what's gonna happen here. It is not far away either. Shit. What's gonna happen? I don't know. It's probably gonna be. It says weak. It's gonna be easy, probably. Oh yeah, here we go. That was pretty sweet. Okay, well, this is probably a good place to leave it. Oh man. What are these guys fighting about? Uh-oh. What does he need? Skeletons? Hmm. I don't know what he needs. It might be gems or something. I think I'm out of rough gems. Well, hopefully it's the gems he was missing and somebody mines these gems and then he can get them. Otherwise, I don't know what it is. It's gotta be the rough gems. I should probably just... do that. And this guy's been injured for a long ass time.